Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, we're going to be working on this beautiful baby blanket. So before we get into the size, let's talk about what you're going to need. Get them all on here for you. I used 4 different colors of Hirschner's Worsted 8. It's a 4-weight, 100% acrylic, 489 yards per skein, but you can use any 4-weight you want, any 4 colors. These are just the 4 I used. Or you could do 2 colors, however you want to do it. You're going to need some stitch markers, which, as always, these are optional. You don't have to use these, but I like to use them for a stitch at the beginning and for a stitch or for a marker at the beginning and the end of our row. You're going to need a yarn needle. Today we're going to be using a 6mm hook and a pair of scissors. All right, so let's talk about the baby blanket. So our blanket, mine, measures 29 inches across and get my tape measure straight, 35 inches long. So the stitch multiple of this pattern is 10 plus 7. So 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 plus 7. So get it this out of the way. So for my baby blanket, I chained 127 using I'm sorry, I should have told you guys the colors. So this one's eggplant. Then we have orchid. Then we have jade. And then glacier. So I started, actually I'm going to line these up the exact same way I did the colors on the baby blanket. So I started out with the eggplant, and then I went to jade, and then I went to the orchid, and then I went to the glacier. So that's the color combination I went in. So I started with the eggplant. Now, since I already have my baby blanket done, I'm going to show you guys on a smaller scale. So I have my hook, get a slip knot on my hook, and like I said, I chained 127 for my baby blanket. So it's multiples of 10 plus 7. So I'm just going to work up a few just for tutorial purposes, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my little chain done. I just did a little chain of 47. And to start our pattern, for row 1, we're going to single crochet into the second chain from hook. So not this one, but this one. We're just going to work a single crochet. And now this is where I like to mark them. Like I said, you don't have to. I just prefer to do this. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that first single crochet we have right there. Alright, so we single crocheted in the second chain from hook. Now we're going to single crochet into the next chain. Now we skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3. Into the next, we're going to work 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we skip 3 chains. Don't forget the one that's kind of, messed up. Oh, excuse me, underneath our 7 double crochets. So we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, into the next with a single crochet. And a single crochet into the next 2. So now we have 3 singles. So now we skip 3, 1, 2, 3, 7 double crochet into the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Skip 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next 3. And that's what we're going to repeat for row 1, 2, and 3. Skip 3, 7 double crochet into the next. Skip 3, a single into the next 3. Skip 3, 7 double crochet into the next. Skip 3, a double crochet into the next 3. And we're going to repeat this all the way to the end, and I will meet you guys to the end of our row 1, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back and I've worked my 7 double crochet, skip 3, 3 singles, and now at the end you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 chains left. We're going to skip 3 and we're going to work 4 double crochet into this last chain. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Tighten up that slip knot. And that's what your row 1 should look like. Go ahead and mark my last double. Okay, so at the end of row 1, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to change color. So pull up a little loop so you have enough to weave in. Cut this. Pull that tight. And now we're going to go on to our next color. Okay, so now I've got my next color, which is jade. I'm going to get a slip knot, making sure I have enough tail to weave in. Get a slip knot on my hook. And now what we're going to do, and you can use any method you prefer to change yarn colors. This is just what I preferred to do. So I've got my slip knot on my hook. I'm going to go right into that last double crochet we worked, work a slip knot, a slip stitch, I'm sorry, chain 1, and now we turn. So for row 2, we're going to single crochet right back into that same double crochet that we slip stitched to, work a single, and a single into the next. And now we chain 1. And now what we're going to do is work 7 double crochet together over the next 7 stitches. So to start that, we're going to yarn over, we're going to go into the first stitch, pull up a loop, and we want to pull it up a little bit so it's the height of a double. We're going to yarn over, yarn over, pull through. We're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull it up a little bit, yarn over, pull through. That's 2. Here's 3, yarn over, pull through. Here's 4, yarn over, pull through. Here's 5, pull up, yarn over, pull through. Here's 6, pull up a loop, pull through, and here's 7. Pull it up a little bit, yarn over, and pull through. So now we should have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 loops on our hook. we're going to yarn over and loosely or very easily pull through all 8 of those loops. And now we're going to loosely chain 1. And the reason we do that loose is because in the next row we're going to be working into that chain 1 that closes our seven double crochet 7 together. Bleh. Okay, so now what we're going to do, get my needle because I want to show you guys. What we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch right into the side of this last double crochet of the 7 that we worked. So if you look, we have a strand here, I'll say, and then a strand here for that double. Well, we're going to go right between both of those, and if you look, we're going to catch another strand on the back. So we're going right through that double crochet and catching the front and the back, just like that. So we're going to slip stitch right in there. See how I got those the two legs right there? I'm just going to loosely slip stitch in there. And now we're going to slip stitch right into the same double crochet that we worked into, worked our last double crochet of the 7. We're going to slip stitch right in there, and it's pretty easy to see because it's a different color, right? So we chain 1, and now we're going to single crochet into the next 3 doubles. 1, 2, and 3. And now we repeat. We chain 1, work our 7 double crochet together right here, right here. So we yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to keep that keep doing that until we've got 7. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's a little trick on how I like to know how I'm keeping track of where I am. Every time we work the 7 double crochet together, the 5th double crochet is always into the last single of the set of 3. So there's 1, 2, and then right there's that last single. So I always kind of, like when I'm working this pattern, I always knew I was right on track. If my 5th double crochet of the 7 together goes into the last single of the set of 3 from the last round. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so that was 5, 6, and 7. 3, 6, 7, 8 loops. Yarn over, easily pull through the 8, lightly chain 1, slip stitch into the side of our last double, making sure you get the front and that back loop. Slip stitched into the same double that our last double crochet of the 7 went into, chain 1, single crochet across the next 3 doubles, chain 1, we start our 7 together, yarn over, go in, pull through 2, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, there's the last single, so I know I'm on track, 6, and 7. Yarn over, pull through all 8 loops, loosely chain 1, slip stitch into the side of the last double, slip stitch into the base of the last double, chain 1, got strand is looking weird, we chained 1, now we single into the next 3 doubles, chain 1, now we're going to work our 7 double crochet together, yarn over, pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, my 5th one is into that last single, so I know I'm on the right track, 5, 6, and 7. 3, 6, 7, 8 loops, yarn over, pull through all 8, chain 1, slip stitch into the side of that last double, slip stitch into the base, chain 1, single crochet over the next 3, doubles. So you guys go ahead and repeat that all the way across for row 2. And to end row 2, since I'm already here, I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So I've worked my last 3 singles. So I'm going to chain 1. And now we should have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches left for row 1 or of row 2. So we're going to yarn over, and this time we're working a 4 double crochet together instead of 7. So it's the same process, just we're only doing 4. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and remove my stitch marker. And 4. So we should have 3, 4, 5. Oops. 3, 4, 5. 5 stitches, yarn over, pull through all 5, and we're going to chain 2. And that is the end of row 2. So go ahead and get your row 2 worked up and come back, and we're going to start row 3. Alrighty, so for row 3, we're not going to change colors. We're going to turn and into the chain that we worked that closed that 4 double crochet together. Make sure you guys can see this. So it's right here, right on the side. You see that? So we chained 1 to close our double crochet together, and then we chained another one, and then we turned. So now we're going to work 4 double crochet into that chain 1 that closed our 4 together, right? So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to go right in there with 4 doubles. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now I'm going to go ahead and stop, and the very first double is facing right at you. See it right there? So I'm going to mark that, and when I mark it, I like to kind of give it a little tug, pull it to the side. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet into the next 3 singles. But here's the thing, don't get confused with this. This is not our single. It's a slip stitch and a chain 1. So our first single is right here, our second single, and our third single. So don't get confused with this part right here, okay? So now we just single into the next 3 single crochets. 2 and 3. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work 7 double crochet into that chain 1 that closed the 7 double crochet together. And this is why I told you guys to work that chain 1 loosely, because it does get to be a little pain in the butt if you don't, if you accidentally work that too tight. So we're going to yarn over and just go straight in there with 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to scooch a little bit. 5, 6, and dang it, 7. And now we go right into the 3 singles into the single crochets from the last row. And that's all this row is. So So we worked our 3 singles, 7 double crochet into this chain 1, which, I mean, if you guys look at your the base at all of these double crochets right here from the 7 together, where they all come together, right there is how you know where your chain 1 is, where they all come in right in there. That's where your 7 double crochets go. 1 single into the next 3 singles, 7 double, 1 single into the 3, 7 double. So go ahead and finish your row 3, and I'll meet you guys back here when I get to the last 7 double crochet into that chain 1. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm coming back and I've made it to the end of row 3, and all we're going to do to end row 3 is a single crochet into the last 2 singles. And I wish I would have marked that so I could show you better. I forgot to use my stitch marker. So if we look, we have this single and this single, which this one is a little stretched out because it's got the slip stitch, the chain 1, and then the single. But all we're going to do is to end row 3 is a single in the last 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. We're going to chain 1 and we're going to change color. So we're going to pull this up a little bit. Just make sure we got enough tail to weave in. All right, so now we are going to go to, let's see, what's this color again? Can't remember the names of them. Orchid. Now we're going to go with the orchid. Alrighty, so all we're going to do is the same thing. Get a slip knot on our hook. And remember, like I said, you guys can use any method you use to attach your new colors. I'm going to go right in there with a slip stitch. And a chain 1. Okay, so now we're on row 4. Need to look at my pattern. Row 4, we're gonna, where'd my tail go? Lost it. Okay, so we slip stitch, chain 1, and we're gonna turn. And we're gonna go right back into that first stitch that we slip stitched into with a double. Get that tail out of the way. And now we are going to work 3 double crochet together over the next 3 stitches. So we're gonna yarn over, go into the first, pull up, pull through. That's 1, 2, and 3. 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through all 4, chain 1, and we're still going to slip stitch into the side just like we always have. Slip stitch into the base, chain 1, single crochet into the next 3 stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and pause, and I'm going to mark my double crochet, the first one of the row, my stitch marker. Okay, so now we go back into the 7 double crochet together. We worked our 3 single, chain 1, and we're going to work 7 double crochet into the next 7, making sure our 5th one is into the last single. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5, and it's in that last single, 6, and 7. 8 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 8, and loosely chain 1. And now with that, I just want to tell you guys this, with that 5th double crochet in that last single, that's just what I did. I mean, that's kind of how my brain works. But if you also look, we have our last single, our first, second, third is into the, our 3rd double crochet is into the first, 4th, 5th double is into the last single crochet of the set of 3. 6 is into the first double, and then 7 is into the second double. So it just helps because it is easy to kind of get lost in your stitches and where you're supposed to be. And like at one point I was working across and I got all the way across my baby blanket and I was like, wait a minute, the bottom halves of the circles are offset just a tad, you know, so like it'd be, instead of being like this, it'd be like this. And I was like, what is going on? And I got to looking at it and noticing I was off 1 stitch all the way across. So that taught me real quick to count where I was. Okay, so back to what we're doing. We got our 7 double crochet together, chain 1 to close it up. We're going to slip stitch into the side. See how I got those 2 loops on there? And slip stitch into the base. Chain 1, single crochet over the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1 and 7 double crochet over the next. So go ahead and repeat 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat your row 4 and I'll meet you guys at the end. Okay, so I've made it to the end of row 4 and I've worked my last 7 double crochet together. I'm going to loosely chain 1, slip stitch into the side, slip stitch into the base, chain 1, and now we have 2 stitches left, right? The one we have marked and the one right here. Now all we're going to do is just single crochet into the last 2 stitches. 1 and 2. All right, so that's the end of row 4. So row 5, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn. Row 5 starts with single crocheting into the first 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And now we're going to go straight into the 7 double crochet into the center of our 7 together, into that chain 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to scooch that over a little bit. 5, 6, and 7. Single crochet into the next 3 singles. 1, 2, and 3. And that's the repeat all the way across. 7 doubles into the chain 1 that closes our 7 double crochet together, and a single into the 3 singles, 7 double, single into the 3, 7 double, single into the 3, and I'll meet you guys at the end. Okay, so I've made it to the end. Got my 7 double, 3 single, and now what we're going to do is we're going to work 4 double crochets into the very last stitch. And yes, it is kind of a stretch, but it's going to get work, I promise. Take my stitch marker out. I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to go right into that last stitch, and I'm going to kind of pull that up a little bit. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And to end row 5, you're going to change color, which in this case you would go to the glacier. But I'm not going to do that, because basically what you're going to do now is you're going to repeat rows 2 through 5, changing color at the end of row 3 and at the end of row 5. So we have row 1, then we have 2, 3, we change color, 4, 5, we change color, then 2, 3, you're going to change color, 4, 5, and you're going to change color. So you just repeat that, repeat 2 through 5, 2 through 5, 2 through 5, changing your color at the end of row 3 and row 5. And just keep repeating that until your blanket measures 35 inches long. If you did the chain 127, like I did for my baby blanket here. Now, if you went wider than the 125 I did, then you might, or I'm sorry, the 127 I did, then you may need to, lay it out and look at it. Does it look like it's a more rectangle than square? And you like the length, then fasten off. But what you're going to do is you're going to repeat rows 2 through 5 for the length of your blanket. I'm trying to get this to where it lays straight so you can see what I'm going to tell you. And changing color after row 3 and row 5, right? And keep going, keep going, keep going till you like your length, and then stop on the same color you started with on row 4. Okay, so that gives us that straight edge, just like the bottom. Although, yes, our bottom does have a bigger hole from our 7 double crochet. That's all right. And that is it, guys. You're more than welcome to add a border to this. I chose not to because I like the look of baby blankets without a border. I think sometimes the border takes away from the pattern of the baby blanket, right? And I just kind of like it without it. But you guys are more than welcome to add one. Honestly, if you do the same colors as me, I do a border in that dark color. In the dark, what is that, eggplant? I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, it's eggplant. But do your border in that color. And if you decide, you're going to do it in different colors, no big deal. But go with, see how my eggplant and my purple, what was that one called? Orchid. The eggplant and the orchid are both purple, right? But one's just dark and one's light. And then on the jade and the glacier, they're both a shade of green, but just one's darker and one's lighter. Base your colors off that. If you wanted to do blue, do a dark blue and then a light blue. And then let's say you wanted to do red, do a dark red and then a lighter shade of red. And that's how I got that this pretty color, this look, I guess I'll say. Anyhow, so that is it, guys. I hope you enjoy. Hope you make tons of baby blankets using this pattern. Hey, check out my description box. I've got links to a Facebook group. I've got links to Instagram, Twitter, all that fun stuff. My Etsy shop. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Hit that like button and leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And I got a baby, baby pillow coming with that's going to match this. I'm super excited about. Anyhow. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.